Hey everybody, welcome to vlog number 6. Awesome questions this week by AC, thank you for that. The two big ones were, of our undergrad, what would we classify the culture as? And the other question was, what is our kind of favorite student affairs organizational style? So I thought a lot about it, and I actually had a really hard time classifying my undergrad. I went to I went to Florida Gulf Coast University in Fort Myers, and it's a relatively new school. It's only about 25 years old. So I've realized that I think they're still kind of trying to find their culture, because when looking through it, I kind of was torn between two big ones. The first one was the advocacy culture. I would say it definitely has roots in that one. Advocacy, it values things like equality, fairness, and justice. And our school, you could find these values throughout it. Civic engagement was really big. They wanted us to get involved with the community. In fact, we even had to complete, I believe, 100 volunteer hours throughout our stay there in undergrad because they wanted us to get out into it. We had a class called Colloquium. Colloquium was kind of a green initiative that they did there because sustainability was really big. Environmental justice was big to them too. And in Colloquium, we would learn about how our community worked with the school, how we would affect things all around us. So it was really cool to see social justice in action. It was very exciting, and you could tell those kind of values were all over the place. Another big thing there was diversity. I was just looking at their website trying to make it easy and see if they said what their culture base was, but of course they didn't. It made it harder. But in that, it said that in the recent year, we have had our African American population rise by 13% and our Latino population rise by 17%. I feel like those are very big jumps, especially in compare. It's not like it was all one-sided when I was there only a couple of years ago. So the fact that they're really trying hard to diversify the student body as well as the faculty body, it's really exciting to see. Um, and it kind of talked about coalitions and stuff in the readings about these advocacy cultures, and that was something that happened a lot there. We were always involved with an outside coalition. There were groups inside of the campus that would kind of work together to try and sway things the way that they were looking for. And long story short, I would say advocacy was really big, culture-wise, at FGCU. Now, the other thing that I was torn, though, was the collegial model. The main reasons for that was the research base that they talked about. Our school is really big in research. I don't think it's classified as a research institute, but I wouldn't be surprised if in the next 10, 15 years it does become a research-based institution because we did a lot of it there. And I don't know if that was mainly just because I was in the science department, but we would work right alongside with professors doing research. We would travel abroad to go do research for them. And in fact, all of our senior research, we had a project that we had to do. So it was neat because we would learn with these professors and stuff how to do research, and they would allow us to go out and do some on our own. And so research was a big piece to them. The other thing that kind of brought me towards a collegial model was how student affairs is kind of separated into qualities in that model, or in their specialties, excuse me. It wasn't so much, say for instance, one area had a lot of different jobs. There were kind of people with those specialties in charge of the jobs. For instance, we had kind of a director of volunteer coordinators. We had a director of Greek life, one of CAB. Actually, CAB I don't believe had one, but they had a big following that was separate than kind of a student life. CAB inside, it was almost separated from some of these other ones. The other big thing they had, our housing was all separate. We had a large campus rec population that kind of had its own hierarchy structure. And in other words, I would say the specialties and breaking up student affairs definitely made it a collegial model there. So those were the cultures of my undergrad, I believe. A mixture between the advocacy and collegial. Now, with student affairs, I would have to agree with AC. I think my favorite model for that is the co-curricular model. The fact that student affairs and academic affairs works together, because yes, they have two different kind of missions and they go about it two different ways, but the key to it is that they're developing students, both of them. And I feel like student development, it can't just be one-sided. Someone who's just totally book smarts and knows all kinds of information, if they don't have those kind of real life experiences and things like that, that I believe student affairs helps them with, it's not going to be as helpful to them after they graduate, and vice versa. Someone who just has all these social skills but didn't really learn anything in the classroom, same thing. They're not going to be as strong as individuals. So I believe the co-curricular allows both areas to kind of go on their own tracks and do things the way they believe is best, but they also cross over a good amount and they work together. They kind of have a lot of the same goals. So I believe the co-curricular model is one of the best ways that student affairs can go, kind of tag teaming with academics rather than possibly working against them or in a just completely different direction. But awesome vlogs this week, everybody. I enjoyed them. I'm sorry I didn't do anything super creative. This is my room. Yeah, I'll do something cooler next week. But until then, have a good week, and just got the email that we don't have to go to class on Thursday. Whoop whoop. Okay, peace.